Hello everyone and welcome back to Synoptic's Weather channel. Today we're going to take a look at the latest from the Stratospheric data for the next couple of weeks, because there is slight talk of a sudden stratospheric warming or a major sudden stratospheric warming occurring into the first and second week of March. I'm going to go through that as well as the ECM charts to see what they're showing. I've brought up the GFS 12Z to have a quick look, and I'll also run through what the synoptic pattern is for the next couple of weeks very quickly. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Send It. Send it. Let's go. And send it in the comments. See how many send it's with an exclamation mark we can get in the description, in the comments, and see nice things about. No, I'm joking. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe though. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, let's get on. So we're going to start by just starting from day 10, which is the 3rd of March, and as you can see, the warmer than average, or the warmer temperatures are to the north towards Siberia, and the colder temperatures, which is the polar vortex at its roots in the atmosphere, in the stratosphere, I should say, which is way above us basically, is here. So I'm just going to write an L and a high. You just imagine it being high pressure and low pressure. This is the low pressure. This is the darker blues. This is the main lobe of the polar vortex. So you get the very cold temperatures, and as we move along with this run, you can see this warming intensifies to the east in this eastern part of the chart, so towards Siberia, the Nordic regions into Eastern Europe and over Western Russia, for example, and this begins to move and dislocate the polar vortex. You can see there's an intense warming gathering pace towards Siberia and the Nordic regions, and it is pushing into the polar vortex, weakening it at its roots. This warming really does intensify and stretches. As you can see, the polar vortex begins to stretch to its roots to almost splitting. However, the warming is just about splits it at its roots. This is a technical split. As you can see, there's a lobe gone towards Alaska, and there's a lobe gone into, well, remaining over parts of Western Europe, which is probably a technical sun-stratospheric warming. We have a lot of warming gathering, a lot of warming over the over the high latitudes in the polar regions, and then we have the lobes of the polar vortex displaced. Remember, if we had a sun-stratospheric warming, we would expect effects about 2 weeks. The lag time is about 2 weeks from when this event occurs to when you see an effect at the surface at the tropospheric level, which is, so the troposphere is basically our weather, the stratosphere is the response, or what responds to the atmospheric response, the atmospheric patterns, basically. So stratospheric, if something happens, it can delegate down to the troposphere, so the weather we experience. If we do get these patterns, it does increase the chance of blocking patterns, but it would be, because this is the 10th of March, this chart showing a technical SSW, that would be around the 3rd into the 4th week of March, maybe even April, would not be a great spring to start that. If we have a look at the ECM, however, you can see that the polar vortex is meant to weaken, as it gets into springtime. You want the polar vortex does naturally weaken. However, as you can see from around the 10th of March, like the GFS run is showing there are a lot of runs actually bringing in a technical sun-stratospheric warming. When you have this line, the 0 degree line, which is the zonal winds in the atmosphere, or in the stratosphere, I should say, when the lines drop below this, that increases the chances of blocking, technical SSW, and the polar vortexes, the winds are reversed. As you can see by a lot of these runs, I'd say about 50% are actually reversing the runs between, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th week of March into April. As you can see at the end, this is the average line here, this red line, and as you can see here, it is returning to, a weak zonal winds, because as you move into April and May, the polar vortex powers down. It loses its strength as we go into the summer months. But there is a drop there. There is a drop. There's quite a few ensemble members bringing a drop, quite a few reversing the winds, but something to monitor at this stage. What do I expect in SSW to happen? Yes, I do actually. 2nd to the 3rd week of March, there definitely, in my opinion, will be a technical sun-stratospheric warming. Timings and lengths uncertain, but why not? Let's make another bold prediction. Went wrong last time, but we'll have a look. We'll see what happens, won't we? We're going to just look very quickly at the GFS run to see the general synoptic pattern for the next couple of days. with that, and let me know how you found yesterday's video where we had a look at the winter of 2018, the beast from the east. Let me know what you thought to that. That was a bit more interesting. Anyway, the synoptic pattern for now into Sunday, so recording this Saturday night, into Sunday, the synoptic pattern is for high pressure to remain to our east, low pressures to our west, and high pressures also to our north, to our south towards Spain. We are bringing the wind in from a very mild southwesterly wind with upper temperatures quite mild. It's feeling quite pleasant out there. Through into next week, then we turn more unsettled with winds it's remaining from the west-southwest. More low pressure systems in off the Atlantic, producing bouts of rain, especially further north, but not exclusively. It's going to be quite a wet week next week. High pressure ridges over the country into Saturday. Meaning it could be quite cold at the surface, with a bit of frost and fog. That doesn't last long, however, as the Atlantic returns into the following week. So into the first week of March, goes more unsettled before high pressure again, tries to rebuild, sits over France, and we're bringing in the wind from a mild southwesterly wind by the 6th of March. This is what we mean by blocking patterns, though. By the 8th of March with the GFS run, very far out, again uncertain, of course. But high pressure retreating further into the Atlantic, low pressures over Scandinavia, winds are returning back to the north. As we go through March and into April, the cold northerlies lose the strength. As you see here, there's not much going on there. The -5 line's spinning around, but there's not much of it, and it doesn't last very long. The period to keep an eye on, I'd definitely say, is from the 2nd to the 3rd week of Jan. At this stage, there could be changes, and of course I'll keep you updated. But yeah, I just thought I'd look at the strat data. Very interesting. We could see a technical SSW, or we could not. It's one of those things. The synoptic pattern for the next few weeks is for it to remain milder than average, with cooler spells, but most likely dominated by milder weather. Most unsettled in the north, but not exclusively, with a few storms possible. Thank you all very much for tuning into today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.